Have you ever thought about what would happen if Earth suddenly stopped spinning? It sounds impossible, but imagine for a moment that our planet froze in place. Right now, Earth is always moving, always turning, and that gentle spin is what makes our world feel normal. But if it came to a sudden stop, life as we know it would change in ways that are hard to believe. From giant waves to violent winds, the results would be shocking. In this video, we are going to explore step by step what would really happen if Earth stopped spinning, and why this simple motion is so important for our survival. Earth has been spinning since the day it was formed, and most of us don't even notice it. But this spin is one of the most important things that makes life on our planet possible. At the equator, the Earth rotates at an incredible speed of around 1,670 kilometers per hour, which is faster than a jet plane. Even though this sounds extreme, we don't feel it because everything around us, air, water, land, and even our own bodies, are moving along with the Earth at the same speed. It's like being on a train that moves smoothly. You don't feel the motion because you are part of it. This constant spin is also the reason we have day and night. As the Earth turns, different parts of the planet face the sun, while others move into darkness. Without this rotation, one side of Earth would face the sun all the time, burning in endless daylight, while the other side would be trapped in freezing darkness. In fact, this regular cycle of light and dark is what helps control temperatures, seasons, and even the rhythm of life for plants and animals. It's easy to forget how important this spin is because we don't see it happening. But if Earth were to suddenly stop, all that hidden motion would be released in the most violent way possible. The spin may seem gentle to us, but it carries unimaginable energy, and losing it would turn our world upside down. If Earth were to suddenly stop spinning, the very first moments would be pure chaos. Everything on the surface of the planet, people, cars, buildings, oceans, even the air itself, would keep moving at the same speed the Earth was spinning. Remember, at the equator, that speed is over 1,600 kilometers per hour. Imagine the ground beneath your feet stopping in an instant, while your body keeps flying forward at jet speed. That's what would happen to everything on the planet. The winds would be one of the first disasters. The atmosphere doesn't just stop when the Earth does. The air would rush across the surface with incredible force, creating storms more powerful than anything humans have ever seen. Cities would be ripped apart in seconds, and entire forests would be flattened by winds moving faster than 1,000 kilometers per hour. Then comes the water. The oceans would not stay calm either. With nothing holding them back, massive walls of water would sweep across the land, drowning coastlines and wiping away anything in their path. These waves wouldn't just be normal tsunamis. They would be global, reaching thousands of kilometers inland. In just minutes, the world we know would be unrecognizable. The sudden stop would unleash destruction on a scale too great for humans to survive. And yet, this is only the beginning of what a motionless Earth would bring. After the first shock of Earth stopping, the oceans and atmosphere would continue to cause chaos. Right now, Earth's rotation creates a balance that keeps water slightly pushed outward around the equator. This is why our planet isn't a perfect sphere, it bulges a little in the middle. But without the spin, that bulge would slowly disappear. The oceans would start moving toward the poles, flooding northern and southern regions, while places near the equator could lose much of their water and become dry land. Imagine entire coastlines underwater, while new deserts appear where there used to be oceans. Countries near the equator might find themselves with wide stretches of empty land, while regions near the poles would be buried under rising seas. This massive redistribution of water would completely reshape the map of the world. The atmosphere would also go wild. Right now, the rotation of Earth controls wind patterns, storms, and even the jet streams that guide our weather. Without that spin, these systems would collapse. Winds would blow in strange and violent ways, with no steady pattern. Storms would grow larger and more destructive, possibly covering entire continents. Rain would fall in new places, while areas that depend on water could dry out completely. In short, the oceans and the air, the very things that make Earth livable, would turn against us. The calm balance that keeps weather predictable and coastlines safe would vanish, leaving behind a planet of floods, deserts, and endless storms. When Earth stops spinning, gravity itself would begin to feel different. Right now, The planet's rotation causes a slight outward force at the equator. This makes us feel a little lighter there compared to the poles. If Earth stopped turning, that outward push would vanish. People living near the equator would suddenly feel slightly heavier, as if gravity had grown stronger. It wouldn't crush us, but we would notice the extra weight in everything we do. Over time, Earth itself would also change shape. At the moment, Earth isn't a perfect sphere, it's wider at the middle because of the spin. Without rotation, the planet would slowly become more round. As this happened, land near the equator would rise, while land near the poles would sink under the weight of rushing water. Mountains, valleys, and even whole continents would be reshaped by this shift. The balance of day and night would also change forever. With no rotation, one half of the planet would always face the sun, trapped in endless daylight, while the other side would remain in permanent darkness. The sun would rise and set only once in a year, as Earth continued its orbit around it. On the day side, temperatures would soar to unbearable levels, while the night side would freeze into bitter cold. The middle zone between the two sides might be the only place where life could survive, but even there, the conditions would be harsh. In this new world, gravity, land, oceans, and sunlight would all behave differently. Earth would no longer be the comfortable home we know, but a strange and dangerous planet with only small chances for life to continue. If Earth suddenly stopped spinning, the effects on life would be devastating. Humans, animals, and plants all depend on the steady rhythm of day and night, the balance of climate, and the flow of air and water. Without these, survival would become nearly impossible. Agriculture, which feeds billions of people, would collapse. Crops grow because of the cycle of sunlight and darkness, along with regular weather patterns. With one side of the planet stuck in burning daylight, plants there would wither and die. On the other side, endless freezing nights would kill any vegetation. Only in the thin strip between the two extremes might some plants still survive, but even there, strange weather and poor soil would make farming very difficult. Animals would also struggle. Migratory birds that rely on Earth's natural cues would lose their way. Marine life would suffer as oceans shifted and currents disappeared. Entire ecosystems could vanish in just a few years. For humans, survival would be even harder. Cities near coastlines would already be destroyed by the first floods and storms. The survivors would need to move constantly, searching for food, fresh water, and shelter in a world that no longer had stable climates. Some communities might gather in the twilight zones between the scorching and frozen halves of Earth, but life there would be harsh and unpredictable. Civilization, as we know it, would collapse. Technology, trade, and global communication depend on predictable weather and stable land. Without them, humanity would be forced back into survival mode, struggling to adapt to a planet that had become alien almost overnight. Now let's imagine a different scenario. Instead of Earth stopping suddenly, what if it slowed down little by little over millions of years? The effects would still be dramatic, but not as instantly deadly. Life might have time to adapt, although the world would never be the same. As Earth's spin slowed, days and nights would become longer. At first, we might have 25-hour days, then 30, then 40. Eventually, a single day could last for weeks or even months. This would completely change the way plants grow and how animals live. Some crops might survive longer days, but others would burn under the sun or freeze in the long nights. Humans would have to invent new ways to grow food, perhaps indoors with artificial light, just to survive. The atmosphere would also change. Without the strong spin, the winds that circle our planet would weaken. Weather would become strange and extreme, with storms lasting for weeks instead of hours. Rain might fall endlessly in one place, while another region could stay dry for months. Over time, Earth's oceans would also shift. Water would still move slowly toward the poles, flooding coastal regions and forcing people to relocate. Entire countries might disappear underwater, while new land could appear in other places. The slowing Earth would also mean weaker protection from space. The spin of the planet helps keep the molten core moving, which creates our magnetic field. If that weakened, dangerous radiation from the sun could reach the surface more easily, making life harder for both humans and animals. Even though a slow stop would give life more time to adjust, the changes would still be enormous. Human civilization would need to reinvent farming, cities, and technology to keep going on a planet that no longer turned the way it once did. The idea of Earth suddenly stopping may sound like pure science fiction, but it reminds us of something important. Our planet is carefully balanced, and even small changes can have massive effects. The steady spin of Earth is what gives us day and night, stable weather, and a home where life can grow. Without it, the world would become a place of chaos, destruction, and survival against impossible odds. Thinking about this scenario shows us just how lucky we are. The ordinary rhythm of sunrise and sunset, the winds that bring rain, and the oceans that support life are all tied to Earth's rotation. It's something we rarely notice, yet it quietly protects us every single day. So the next time you see the sun rise or set, remember that it's not just a beautiful moment. It's also a reminder of the amazing balance that keeps our planet alive. Earth keeps turning, and with every spin, it gives us another chance to live, to grow, and to wonder about the universe around us.